Medicare Gurus Dojo. Today we are going to continue our theme of talking to clients and also helping out agents with basically communicating with each other and making sure everyone gets what they need and what they want. As you know, the rules on here, if you've been here before, if you haven't been here before, welcome. We are a live sales force, so you'll see people coming in and out as people have to go and conduct their business. We're talking to real agents and people who are also studying to be agents, and we're going to also figure out how we can help our clients better, and also, just generally make the world a little bit better place in our industry. So, without any further ado, I have a topic I want to talk about, which I think is very important because we have some new people in our office and some new people that are getting into the industry, which is general communication, not only from the agent to the client, but also really clients themselves. How do clients run into problems, and generally speaking, what are the hangups that occur when a client's trying to look for help or something, or trying to shop for something? So with that, I want to do a little bit of around here. So Brad, you've actually got a lot of experience over what, 11, 12 years in the industry, right? What do you find in general when we're talking to a client? Let's say it's a brand new client and they're just getting on Medicare.
Well, for the most part, they're scared, they're confused, they've been barraged with ads and all kinds of misinformation out there on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for somebody that's going to tell them the truth and find out what's going on. And they want to get put in the right place as soon as possible. And generally, they're looking for somebody that they can trust.
And that's the first part of the equation right there. And, we do things a little bit differently here. We develop relationships with the clients. They become part of our family. And just like we would treat, our parents, we want to make sure they're put in the best position possible. And it takes a little while to do that, really. We don't know their situations until we get into it. And, they have to divulge some sensitive information to us. So it's, we need to have that trusting relationship first. But, they're all different for the most part, but they're all confused. Some people have done a lot of research. That can be good and bad because there's so much information out there. A lot of times they've gone to the wrong places. People who Google things, not pay attention to the URLs, and what are they Googling? Some agency that has bad information on it. So we're back to square one with the education process for the most part.
What I generally see at its very core fundamental element, which actually ties in a lot what you're talking about, is I see agents who have forgotten how to communicate with clients, and clients that don't know what they're talking or they're looking for, and have compromised on what they want because they don't know the language.
Mm.
Right? I've seen too many clients come in here and go, well, I want a PPO network, and don't even know what that means. Or they know what it means, but they think that's the best they can get. My biggest problem that I've seen over the years is that I have clients that have already given up on what they want because they don't think that they're allowed to articulate that in their own language. And a lot of agents they talk to do not use client language. Right? I mean, one of the biggest things in the world, guys out there, you should never go, as a consumer, you should never go into something already compromising. What you want is what you want. What you need is what you need. If you were buying a car, you would know that I have kids, I have to seat spot 4, I have to do this, I have to do this, I need this, I want this, I want this. And then go from there. But right now, I see a lot of people calling in, well, I want no copays. Well, okay. What else do you want? Tell me what you want. That's one of the things I want to go into is we've forgotten that agents are not order takers, right? They're there to facilitate your solution, but they're also not mind readers, right? So right now, you're not going to control what the customer's been exposed to and what they've learned. They're doing the right thing by trying to research, right? But the problem is that there's a communication gap because they're already figuring out that they're trying to figure out what they can get. But realistically speaking, in our world, in our field, they can get whatever they want, right? The world is your oyster. So has anyone encountered this where someone's already coming in and they say they want this because they think it's the best thing and it's way, way below what they qualify for, what they could get, or it's far more expensive than what they should be paying for it? I mean, who here has dealt with that?
Well, of course, people,
We get barraged with what we used to call Hooverisms, where, companies like Blue Cross, everybody's heard of them. Okay, that's the Cadillac, that's the top of the line. I want Blue Cross. What do you want from Blue Cross? People are used to group plans, individual coverage, where you've got all these restrictions, networks, copays, deductibles. Is it an HMO or PPO? The Medicare world is completely new to them. It's a completely different ball game. And by the time we get through with it, just explaining it, it's very refreshing. But, people have all these misconceptions on what it's about. Most people hate insurance to begin with. They've had bad experiences. They get on the phone. It's kind of like, trying to get things fixed with your cable company. You get bounced around a lot and it's a bad experience. And of course, when you're on Medicare, you don't have those problems, and they always have us to sort things out if they do get issues. But there's a lot of misconceptions. And like you said, Frank, it comes down to finding out, what do they want? What's important to them? What do they want to achieve with their coverage? What other types of coverage do they need? What's going to fulfill their needs? And that's the job of anybody in sales, really. You find the need and you fill it, to the best of your ability.
Right. So, and by the way, let's break it out from what they're going to need. Let's pretend we're actually talking to a room full of clients right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that's really how we're going to get to the core of some things, and actually, because that's what you have to do in sales in general, is start to understand the psychology, or at least the environment and the world the client's living in, so you can have some empathy for them, and understand what they're going through, so you can actually fix their problem. But how often, right, do you interact with someone and go, well, what do you want? As if you've already picked what you want, instead of asking, what do you need to have done? Right? I don't see, back years ago, we used to have clients that would call in and say, I really need to go keep my doctor. I'm having problems with my heart, so I need to keep this cardiologist who's really good in this area. I need to go and make sure that when I'm going and I'm having these problems, that I don't deal with any bills, because I'm really bad at that. I need to be able to get a quarterly payment. I need to pay once a year. I want this, that, and the other. They would come with a list of things that they need done and action items need done, not the name of a product or service. And when they communicated with us with all the things that they wanted accomplished, it becomes very easy for us to do our job, which is to translate that into what accomplishes that. And we're not getting that anymore, because I think they're getting inundated with a lot of information that it's good information. It's not wrong. But is it teaching them what they need to have done? Are they compromising for basic knowledge, or are they still thinking about what their needs are? I mean, you guys are new and you've already seen a lot of the stuff in the Medicare. You can have everything done, right? You'll find that this, especially coming up in this October, people will come in and a lot of them go, I have no idea. I'm confused, right? That's not necessarily the time frame where we go through and go, well, you want X, Y, and Z, but. No. Always break it down to, well, then tell me what you want in real language, real human language, not just insurance acronyms and speak, right? That's our challenge as agents. How do we translate this into something that's digestible? And in ways, and to do that, you have to have them start the conversation. Clients out there, people that are about to get on Medicare, people that are already there, our own clients that might happen to be watching this. It's okay just to speak to us normally and not have to, you're not interviewing for a job or you're not taking a test. Just tell us what you want to have done. And by the way, don't edit yourself, right? We also have to be really good about not editing the clients for them. So let's do a little exercise here, right? Who here has had to deal with insurance in the past out of the new folks here? I mean, yeah, I understand that some of y'all have taken your tests and everything, but as a consumer of insurance, right? Homeowners insurance, anything,
Auto, yeah.
auto insurance.
Mhm.
Okay. What was the last conversation with your agent like when you bought it?
4 years ago,
Mhm.
very short and sweet.
Right.
Very little back and forth. What deductible you want? Because we tied our homes with our car and all that. Yeah. So there's really no communication.
Did anyone ever explain to you what a deductible was?
Nope.
Right. At any time during that exchange yourself, did you get to go, I want to pay, I can only afford if something happens to pay X amount?
No, because it was just one of those. It was very quick. Here's what you have because I'm on a lease. If you need this, this, this. Thank you.
Did you feel good about it?
No,
There you go. Right.
absolutely not. Oh.
So imagine a world where you can go, hey, and because you're on a lease, they just set the minimum. And I'm sure you said, well, this is what they said on the minimum. Now imagine if it's an optional insurance like Medicare or getting even a Medicare Advantage plan where you can actually making a choice.
Let me add, as a new person here to this industry, I felt, okay, I need to go look at the Medicare website.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Good luck.
Trying to navigate through that was a nightmare.
Right.
And I can only imagine what happens to the consumer. I haven't engaged enough to chat with a consumer that is coming on a T65, but it's overwhelming. There you go.
Right. But the problem is it's overwhelming because what it's doing is it's saying what the world and what the insurance world really is and what the healthcare world and coverage world is. There's a gap there between what your grandma or your mom wants in their life, right? And how they communicate regular everyday needs versus what insurance language is. If a customer comes up and says, a customer's not supposed to come up to someone and go, well, I want a stable copay when I go see the doctor, right? What they really want usually come up to, and if you're actually able to get that relationship, get them talking, is, well, when I go see the doctor, I really don't want to spend more than X amount of money. That's what a copay is. How much money are you going to spend for regular care at a fee schedule for a doctor, right? If I go to a hospital, I don't want to spend thousands of dollars. Well, that's co-insurance and things of that nature. The problem is that instead of having that communication and finding out what the customer really wants, and then translating that into what that is, people are just saying, this is what you need. They don't understand it. Even if it's the best thing for them, they don't understand it. They don't feel good about it. And this is why agents keep on going, well, I did everything right. And that person just wouldn't sign up. What you got, Jacob?
I have something from Alice today.
What you got?
Conversation we were on, which is the exact same thing. Guy got on the phone, help her out a little bit. But guy, he's on Medicaid. Okay, he's turning 65 in November.
Mhm.
And he hasn't applied for Medicare. He's on disability. He doesn't know if disability applied for him. But he goes, yeah, everybody tries to call me and sell me something.
Right.
He goes, nobody ever asked for what his current coverage is. Because he just goes, I have some type of New Hampshire health plan.
Mhm.
And then I go, oh, okay, we need to look this up. And then I just asked the off question, hey, when you had that surgery, did you pay anything? He's like, no. And I go, what about that other time you were in the hospital? No, I didn't pay anything. Oh, and you get help with your diabetes supplies? Okay. You're on Medicaid. You're on Medicaid, ain't you?
Right.
Yep. And nobody ever did that. And he didn't know that he had to sign up for Medicare. He didn't know what benefits there was with signing up with Medicare, what benefits there are out there with D-SNP plans and Advantage plans made for people with Medicaid. He never knew because everybody just tried to push something down his throat when he picked the phone up.
And they weren't communicating to him in the language that he knows.
Mhm.
And this is a big problem. And by the way, the client's not going to fix that. It's our job. I mean, I can speak to people on this podcast, but please don't try to edit yourself. Ask the question in whatever language you want. And if, by the way, that's how you know if you have a good agent or a broker. If a good agent or broker knows their stuff and is an expert in their field to the point where they go, oh, well, you want X, Y, Z? That is this. And mean it. Right? I mean, the flexibility we have with these programs and everything, I mean, you can get it down to where $200 a year out of pocket for all of your healthcare needs as far as like anything that's not on prescription based. And then you can actually get a prescription plan out there. If you're on Medicaid, you ain't paying anything. I mean, that's it, right? There's all those issues out there, but that becomes a very simple conversation. And if you can communicate with those clients, if you can get that out of them, don't tell me what you think I need to know. Tell me what you want and what you need as a human being. Then it becomes very easy for you to go, well, that is this. So now that I know what this is going to be for you, let's talk about you as a human being. Let's go ahead and do some more discovery. Let's bring you in closer. Let's figure out about you as a person and what you want, what you need, and therefore how I can relate to you on how this product will. When I tell you eventually what it'll be, because you'll figure it out quick. Because people usually have the similar things. They just communicate it differently. You'll go, all right, let's start building the vision of this world that you want to be in.
And Alice, tell them what happened after we got off that phone call.
His ex-wife called, and so she had questions about her group plan, and she's on Medicare Part A and B, and so Jacob gave her some homework to go find out, what was it? Out of pocket was. So she's going to call back, and I think too because my initial conversation was when he called, he said, I don't have any money, basically. And so I said, okay, well, what's going on? I've been on disability for 4 years. And I said, well, you don't have your Social Security? He's like, no. And I said, well, how long you worked? He said, since I was 16. And and I said, oh, you're not getting anything. He said, no. And I said, okay, well, let's get Social Security first. Let's get your first step. And so I gave him the number. And of course, we've been kind of conversing the past couple of days. He called again, and he's like, I called for 2 hours and nobody, he couldn't get in. So I told him he needs to go down there and, just kind of really being thorough with him and taking my time, because apparently whoever he was speaking to before didn't really arm him with the right information to even get him his money, And so I said, once you do that part, then we can definitely help you with the Medicare. And then right after that, I hung up. His wife, ex-wife called. And so, I just said, well, he said, well, can I call you? I said, call me as many times as you need to help you get what you need. That's what I'm here to do, to help you. And I think he was so grateful for me taking the time and not just hanging up, say, oh, moving on to the next. And that, he was really appreciative. So then he's like, I'm gonna give you this other number to call me directly.
Yep, he was talking to her in the garage, and it's
it's
one thing too that I learned through my time here, where if a lot of people have the same experience, so if he's like, I've just been getting calls, people trying to sell me something. If you, again, this is from the agent side, if you don't try and sell them something, it's a completely different approach. But for the individuals that, you asked a great question about if he worked or not. We do run into some individuals that they, either don't take out Part B or they don't acquire Part A. They have to pay for Part A. And people say, well, I have Part B, I don't have Part A. What can you do to help me? And when they get those phone calls, other agents just hang up on them.
Right.
Nobody ever talks to them and explains to it why. Like I remember we had one transfer that called in a few months back where she was like, yeah, I'm 66 or I have Medicare, I have Part B. I go, okay, did you get your Part A? And she, no, I can't afford it. I go, that's okay. I'll see what I can pull up, see if I can help you anyway. She goes, really, usually people hang up by this point. And I go, do you know why they hang up? And she goes, no, I never know why. I go, because you can't buy anything. Nobody ever actually just cares enough to explain it to you. Or they think you can't buy anything. Exactly. Exactly. So you did a great job with that.
Yeah, I think in the industry, there's too much product-oriented selling. They have a product to sell, widgets to sell, whatever, and that's their focus. I'm going to sell this plan. That's my goal. I'm going to sell you that plan. Instead of focusing on, I'm going to sell you the solution to your problems, it's a completely different thing. And that's why people hang up. That's what they get barraged with all day long. People trying to sell them a product that they don't even know what it does or they don't care about. They're selling something that people don't care about. You got to narrow it down what they need and offer a solution to their problem.
Mhm.
So how do we get clients and how do we entice or let clients know that it's okay to talk to us in those plain terms? Right? Because they're not going to do it voluntarily, or they don't know that they can still do that. They think that over time, and they're right to think this because most of the industry and most of any industry out there is saying the same thing, that, oh, well, that's the way it used to happen, right? That's the way it used to go. People used to talk to clients. People used to have to do discovery. How do we let them know, and how do clients know that they are allowed to go ahead and communicate with us in normal terms of what their needs are, what their wants are? That they are not, being looked upon, down upon. We had to go get certification to know this stuff. It's supposed to be hard. That's why everyone can't do it. But I think there's also another problem that people encounter and clients encounter where they think that they have to be on guard and therefore not communicate what they really want because they think it's going to expose them to weakness. And our job in this industry is to eliminate risk, right? I'm here to eliminate risk. Can you imagine what that feels like when you don't have risk? Like you don't have to worry about stuff? It's great. It's like being a teenager again where you think you're immortal. Yeah, I'll jump off the roof. As far as that pool, yeah, fine. Right? Broken bone, that'll heal like in 3 weeks. Put some Neosporin on it, we're fine. Compound fracture, I don't do division. I don't know what that is. So how do we get people back into that mindset of having some relief and where they can actually, stand up straight and feel better? Well, we have to communicate with them to let them know that this does that. But they have to tell us what issues they want to avoid or what they're looking for. So how do I get them to start talking to me like a human being and not edit themselves? Not worry about how they sound. Not worry about, am I going to sound ignorant by not knowing this? Are they going to try to take advantage of me because they don't think I know what I'm talking about? So how do we convey that doesn't matter? Right? If you come to me and say, I just want the cheapest thing, well, the cheapest thing is zero. But at the same time, what do you think you're getting with that? What are you losing with it? That pit in your stomach that you feel like, how could it be $0? Exactly. It's okay to think that and talk to it. How do we get them to talk to us like that? How do we get them to associate with us and to get on that level, become a peer with us?
I just started, so I'm probably not supposed to answer that question.
No, go ahead.
Wait a second. No, don't ever think that just because you started at the beginning of your career in this, that is the best time to actually talk about this because you haven't been inundated with the information we've given you yet.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I would say, tell me about your experience with, healthcare through the years and what's your understanding of your experience or your coverage right now. Do you actually know the details or any, significant information about what kind of coverage you have and what you're paying for it? And I feel like I could certainly help you. And if you can let me know where you're at, then I'd love to visit with you for a few minutes and see how I can help you.
Right. Go through and communicate how you can help.
How did I do?
You did all right. I mean, this is your first day,
Yeah.
right? So there's no real wrong answer on that. But I would also go for so far as this. Let's not have an insurance conversation right away.
Okay. Oh, you mean, how are you doing today?
How are you doing today? Or tell me what's going on.
Right. Okay.
What do you need help with?
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, what do you need me to do? What do you want? What do you have? What do you have? All this other stuff. Discovery is one of the 8. Generally, the most important thing you got when you first start any kind of Sale people overlook it all the time is greeting. Because you're not going to get into any presentation if they hang up on you. So you better get good at that real quick. Which that also helps out your voicemails, because a voicemail is just a greeting where no one else has picked up the phone. Right? Right. Then there are other little things in the middle. How do you establish the fact that you're a peer but still be friendly? How do you get on their level? How do you confirming the decision maker? Don't do one-legged presentations. All that's there. Those are all very short things.
One-legged.
Don't do one-legged presentations, right? Right. You know, why would you, if the decision maker's not there, or all the decision-making parties aren't there, what are we doing? Because they're not going to remember the things they need to know when they're trying to communicate to the other person. They haven't had the repetition that you guys are going to have. And it's not reasonable to think they are. Otherwise, they would have already made the decision. So when we go through this, that's all good. And those are important stages to get you to where the real meat and potatoes are, and that's discovery. So discovery. But how do you have an effective discovery if they don't trust you, or if you're not talking to them in their terms, or you're not actually going ahead and breaking down that barrier where you can sit there and go, you're not speaking to me in a way that can communicate what you really want. If you're trying to translate it for me, you don't have to do that. That's my job as the expert. Just like going to your doctor. Going to your doctor, you don't go, well, I think I might have some sort of, endosperm pancreatitis. No, that's why doctors hate treating other doctors. Like, come on, you don't know what you're really talking about. It's inside you. Doctors like when people go, this hurts.
Yeah.
And this hurts. I go, right here. Right? Because then they have something to go off of. We need to start getting that. And good doctors do that. They go, where does it hurt? How are you feeling? What are you doing? You know, what's going on? Do you have any problems you need to tell me about? Oh, let's check that out. So we need to start doing that. But we also need to entice our clients to go ahead and feel comfortable doing that. So let's do a little exercise here, right? Since we're in the insurance world and that's what we deal with, and hopefully that's what people are watching, because I know this face ain't selling the video, right? While you guys are still green, right? And I also think this is a good exercise for the guys that have been a veteran. Let's communicate a need without using industry talk. Well, I see a look on your face. What are you thinking? Is it kind of hard to go, I don't know. Copay. Nope, can't use copay. Can't use deductible. Can't use this. Can't use excess charges.
I would say eliminate fear is a powerful motivator.
Yeah, well, that's the primary motivator. But how do I get them to express what their fear is without them trying to translate it for me?
I'd say the selector questions.
True. However, to get these guys thinking about this, and also get clients that might be watching thinking about this, it doesn't have to be about insurance. It could be. But as an expert, let's start off with you, Jacob. Let's say I'm trying to get you a Medicare supplement, or get your mom one, because I know you really care. You love your mom, right? I want you to tell me what you want without using any industry language right now. You don't get to tell me the plan. You don't get to you don't get to use a single insurance terminology.
Okay, easy. I want her not to worry.
Okay. What else?
I want her not have to pull into her bank account.
Okay. What else?
Availability to go see who she wants.
Okay. What else? Okay. Now, are you guys okay doing any paperwork if you do need something done?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So no paperwork. Okay. Now, when you say you don't want to have to pull into a bank account, are you talking about, are you okay with a slight fee or stable fee, or are you just trying to make sure that there's nothing there, but you might have to compromise on a lot of other stuff?
I just want to make sure you don't have to break the bank and write a check to a hospital.
You don't want to write a check to a hospital. Okay. You can do that. That's fine. All right. So, what you're telling me, well, about time to get a new phone now.
Push the doors all the way open, Frank. You're gonna have to move that.
Okay.
You can tell it's been a while since Frank's been in here.
Right. And that's
You usually pull it back over to hold that door open. Okay, it should be fine.
all right. So you're telling me you want to not break the bank. Okay. So you don't want to have to pay a hospital.
Mhm.
Okay. No hospital cost. All right. Tell me that she wants to be able to go anywhere. So no network.
Exactly. She's a strong, independent
guys see
Czech
this?
woman.
Can you see this on here, Adrian? We're good? All right. All right. Or better yet, no hospital cost. Wants to see any doctor.
Mhm.
That's what you said. Okay. Wanted no paperwork. What else did you say?
No worries, but pull into a bank account.
Okay.
So large sum payments.
Okay, so no big payments. Illness. Okay. Anything else you want without using any insurance terminology?
That looks.
Okay, let's open it up. What else would anyone else want when we're talking about that? And keep in mind, your world's yours. Don't edit yourself. You shouldn't let the client edit themselves either. Peace of mind. What does peace of mind mean? Now break it down even. They're not going to say peace of mind. People don't speak that way, and they don't really think that way.
I want to feel comfortable that I'm making the right choice.
For this service.
Anyone else?
No worry about the unknown.
Client's actually telling you that.
Well,
You don't want to have anything out there. It's like, well, what if this happens? Am I going to be covered? I don't know how to put that in one word.
No, not one word. You're coming to me, and maybe I'm selling you homeowners insurance, or you're looking for homeowners insurance, or whatever it is. You tell me in your own words about something that you don't understand, which is kind of hard because you've been around and you actually know a lot about a lot, right? Tell me in something, in a word, and not words, your own words, what you want to accomplish without compromising on it.
Well, I'd want something that's not going to surprise me.
No surprises. Okay. What about you,
I
Alice?
hear people talk about getting money back. So
Don't worry about that.
don't
Not
worry.
what people talk about. I'm talking about you.
Okay, definitely peace of mind, but I want something if I have to go to the doctor, let's say cataract, anything like that as I age, that I'll be able to go and have peace of mind about what the payments would be, if any.
Okay, so you
Any
want,
type of surgery.
okay, any surgery?
Mhm.
Any surgery covered?
Yes.
Throw on there for me stability. I want to have the same thing over and over again. I want it to be able to change.
So no surprises or stability? Okay, stability. Anyone else? What do you got, Chris? Don't look at that. Just tell me what you want off the top of your head when you're looking for something. Don't try to rehearse it. Just make it natural.
Yeah, I want to deal with people that I feel that I can trust. Is that up there already, right?
Okay, I want to trust them. No BS.
There you go.
You'll talk to people like, I don't want to deal with that crap. Well, good. Those are people I love because they're being honest and they're not trying to edit themselves. And this is the whole part of the exercise, guys. You got to get your clients talking, and your clients out there, if you're hearing this, people are getting on Medicare, do not try to edit yourselves. Tell us. All right. That's a lot of stuff, right? Oh, hospital costs. That means I want to eliminate the Medicare. And this is where brain goes. Now, clients come over and they said all this stuff. Now, you be looking at this all together from the outside world, they're going to go, you can't possibly get all of that, but you can. Right? It's just not translated properly, and they're not going to be able to translate it. They don't have years of experience. They don't have surroundings and all the other stuff. And that's why they have us, because they're not buying all of this. They're buying the guy, the gal, who can get all of this done. But I can't get it done unless you start telling me this stuff. I don't want to hear people go, well, I don't want to pay the Part B deductible. But do you know what it is? Well, I mean, no. I've heard about it. I don't want to pay a premium. Do you know what a premium actually is? I don't expect you to. I didn't know what it was before I started dealing with insurance as a professional. Right? I'll be honest with everybody. I'm on the VA. I've had military coverage since I was 17 years old. I was doing international business and stuff like that, and I had to learn about insurance in general from my mom, who's a nurse. And then other people that were around, I was like, God, this is something I need. And then I found this place. I was like, well, Medicare is, I didn't know anything about Medicare. And I found out, I was like, this is amazing. And then I wanted to do it. But these people were just like me when I started 14 years ago, 13 years ago, whatever. So without, and this is a hard thing. I saw Jacob's face when he's sitting there trying to say, well, I don't want to, can't use that word. Cannot use insurance terms. Because that's where these people are going to be talking to you, hopefully, if you've done your job right. All right. So as an agent, I go, well, no hospital cost. All right. Part A is eliminated. Part A cost. And some of the Part B cost for that. Wants to see any doctor. Well, that means networks are eliminated. No paperworks. E, claim, file, or with Medicare. Means we don't have to file the claim. No big money payments for illness. Well, that's going to mean Part B and excess charges. And again, no networks. Because I had to accomplish all those to make sure I don't get slammed with anything. Because even if I have low cost and low deductibles, low co-pays, if I'm outside of a network, it's not working anyway. So that means we got to make sure that those things are gone. Comfortable with choice. If I'm able to explain that to you and you've already explained that, you're going to have this. So also standardized. Can I say that there's a standardization to this process? A good example of that is this. A lot of times when people are like, I want to go out somewhere nice to eat. And you're like, well, what about this? Or what about this? Like, I don't know. But you know what? A lot of people don't ever ask questions of, hey, you want to go to Burger King? Sounds good. It's a standardized product. I know that any place I go to is going to have the same level. So finding something that's a bit standardized that doesn't have these exclusions and things like that, that's a big thing. So if someone wants saying, I want something that's standardized, or I want something that's comfortable with the choice, I got to be able to put some transparency in it. You're only going to be comfortable if something is transparent. So standardized / transparent. All right. Keep on trying to underline these and I keep on lining through them. So bear in mind, guys, I'm not closing these out. All right. No surprises. Again, that's the same thing. I'm not going to be surprised with something if I know what it does. Okay. Any surgery covered. Again, that goes back to standardization and transparency. If a doctor says that you need it, it should be done. So no prior auth or hurdles. / if Medicare approves. Stability. So again, that goes to standardization. Are the plans actually set forth? Are they allowed to change? And are they guaranteed renewable? Trust, no BS. Company doesn't have final say. Medicare does. Medicare handles claim. Okay. Part A cost elimination means a Part A deductible, Part B co-insurance. Wants to see any doctor. That means you cannot have networks and you should not have an actual referral system on there. No paperwork. Well, that means electronic claims processing through the Medicare direct bill network. That is direct bill from the carrier. All right. No big payments for illnesses. Well, that means we're going to have to handle the Part B Part B copay or co-insurance, Part B co-insurance, and Part B excess charges, right? As well as skilled nursing co-payments and Part A and Part A deductible and co-payments or co-insurance, which are used kind of synonymously, which also confuses people, right? Comfortable with a choice. It needs to be standardized and transparent. That means I can't put you with something that has a big book of stuff of what it goes on. It needs to be very simple. If it's left over, it needs to be paid. But that means it needs to be a standardized policy. That eliminates about half the market out there, by the way. Any surgery covered means I don't need to have prior authorization. I don't need a referral. If Medicare approves it, which is the most liberal standard of what you can actually get on care, if Medicare approves it, you get it done. Everyone else has other stipulations. So that means you and your doctor make your choices. Stability. That means it's standardized. There are plans out there called standardized Medicare supplement plans, and they use the word standardized for a reason. G plan's always a G plan. F plan's always an F plan. Well, when you still were able to sell to new people, you can still get them out there, though. In plans are always an in plan. Trust, no BS. Well, companies are great and everything else, but if you're dealing with a standardized plan, they're all the same, right? What I just explained over here and what these things are is a totally different language than what the customers and what you guys just came up with in plain language. We have to understand that, right? Because if I start telling them what I just spat out at you guys, they're going to turn off. It's a different language. So what we do is we go, oh, you want this, 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 or you're okay with X, Y, and Z, then it's this thing. Now, all of this you guys just put on here, all of it, if you want, let me go ahead and erase some of this. So now the new conversation is this. You want no hospital cost, want to see any doctor, no paperwork, no big payments for illnesses, comfortable with your choice. You want to be no surprises. You want any surgery covered. You want to go to stability, and you want to have trust in what you have, and you want to have to deal with BS. You just want your healthcare automated and taken care of. And G. That's it. All of that, plan G. What about a plan N? Doesn't cover the major cost. You have to pay for excess charges. Don't do that. That's a different conversation than going, well, a plan N covers X, Y, and Z and could really fit. Nah, you didn't. If you don't get to this part where they're telling you this stuff, and if you can't reach your client and start telling them, getting them to actually communicate in that way with you, your recommendation isn't going to mean anything to them because they don't understand, and it's not their job to understand. It takes us years to learn this stuff. I mean, there are still people out there, and you're dealing with a promise, like insurance is. It's a promise, right? It's not something tangible. I don't need Neil deGrasse Tyson or anyone else to explain really gravity to me because, well, it's working. But insurance is a little bit different. It's something I hope I never witness. Right? So I need to be really trusting that when I do need to see it happen, that it works right. And a lot of people out there have a bad taste in their mouth from insurance because they thought they bought something that they didn't buy because they didn't ask the questions right. And the guy that sold it to them didn't care enough to ask them the questions. You know what? He probably could have sold you a lot better policy and probably could have sold you another 2 or 3 of them if he had just taken a little time and communicated to you what you need. Right? But they don't. We have to. So that's the key, guys. Go through and start communicating with these folks in their own language. Get them to talk in their own language. If you're encountering a client who's not opening up to you, just tell them, listen, you don't have to pretend. If you know a lot about this insurance industry, that's great. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Right? I'll tell you how we can get there. Well, what are you selling? I'm not selling anything. I'll sign you up with anything. I got plenty of options. However, it's not going to suit it until you tell me what you want. Let's think about that. Let's walk you through that process. A lot of people haven't even thought about what they want anymore. What?
As the great philosopher Tupac would say, how do you want it? How do you need it?
Right.
Is the exact thing that you're saying right now.
Right. But you have to have that conversation. That's the only conversation you should be having, by the way. All this other stuff, closing, rebuttals. How on earth are you going to have to overcome an objection when the person told you exactly what they want? What objection are they going to give? When in plain language, they said, I want it to do this. And you go, perfect. Here is the thing that does that. Well, does it do? Wait. Does it really do that? Yes. That's the objections that you overcome when you have that. It's only the time when you're trying to explain something or trying to convince someone to get something they haven't really asked for or haven't found a need for that you have objections. So we got to make this communication over here. If you're not getting someone to open up, you need to focus on getting them open up. Don't try to just move this through a conversation. I got to get to this next paragraph. Nope. You take your time. Be honest with them. I need you to tell me what you need. I'm your advocate on this. Especially in y'all's position right now, you're feeding it to him. He's the big baddie. He's the big baddie. Victoria's the big baddie. Well, little baddie. Right? Little big baddie. Big little baddie. Anyway.
You know, what's the main objection people get, salespeople in general? I want to think about it. When you get that objection, you didn't go through that.
Right.
Because you're not solving it, but there's something else in there
That you're not uncovering that's filling their need. You know, that's what it is. They're not sold because you're selling a product that has features that maybe they don't even want, or, you know, but it comes down to that.
And they can't connect with that feature. They go, I don't want that feature, but do you know what that feature satisfies? And who cares if it has a whole bunch of stuff you don't think you need right now? It's not what insurance is about. You're going to need it in the future.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if the only thing that satisfies these million things you just told me is X. There is no rebuttal. There is nothing out there. And I'm the only person that's spoken to you in ways that actually affect your life, because I let you speak like a human being and tell me what you wanted to do. But you got to get the clients to do that. And clients have to be comfortable coming to you and go, listen, this is the conversation. It's okay for you to say, this is the conversation we need to have. I don't need you to try to, it's okay. You're going to be fine. I'm here to help you. So just tell me what you want. And don't try to dress it up. Don't try to dress it up. You can tell me however you want it to. You can tell me that you don't want to deal with anything. And I'll try to make that happen. But that means you guys have to dig, and dig in regular language. Don't go to someone and go, well, do you want low deductibles? Do you want low copays? I don't know what you're talking about. That's like if I was going to buy a house and the person that was selling it to me, the realtor, is going, so let me tell you about stud spacing. Huh? A, I can't see it. You're not going to open up a wall. B, I don't know what it is. And that's what we got to make sure we avoid. I want something good. I want a house that's going to be energy efficient. I want something that's going to be quiet. I don't like people, so I don't want neighbors. You know. So, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I've been preaching a lot on this. Let's open this up. We got a few minutes left. Jacob, I know you got that smile on your face. What do you got?
I always do. I'm letting some other people answer.
All right.
I always talk. I'm taking a break. Just here for the whimsicals and the Tupac quotes.
I didn't even think I'm
Yeah, you said,
Tupac guy.
how do you want?
not going to go.
I think something that really important is the fact that they need to understand or have explained in a language that they understand, instead of acronyms and, that's so frustrating if I know as a consumer that you have da 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 and you're like, okay, well, what was that acronym? You didn't get it, but that just really hits home with let's try and keep it simple till we get a grasp of it, and then we can move forward.
Right.
So,
Like I started off in the auto industry a long time ago, and you've also been in the auto industry too. If someone says, I need to tow a boat and that boat weighs 7,000 pounds, you don't go, well, then you need 312 foot-pounds or pound-feet of torque. Right? Depending on, it was pound-feet. But anyway, that's not the way you communicate. You don't go up to someone and go, hey, Bubba. No, you go, hey, are you towing a boat? Okay, well, it is. That's it. But that's the problem, is that people want to go through and say what they want to say instead of just talking to people. And clients are afraid to talk because they don't want to sound ignorant, because they think it's weakness. Well, really, what we're trying to do is get you to tell us what you want, because you are in the position of power as a client. You get to dictate and edict to me, and I will serve you whatever you can do that's in my power. Right? Because I don't care about these companies. It's not my job. You think I care if Aetna's what Aetna has versus what Cigna? I have them both. I can't lose. Tell me what you need. That's it. Now you got me like editing what I'm saying. I'm not going to do another Tupac quote. I didn't know that was. Okay. Yeah. So, So I mean, what other scenarios does that encounter on? I mean, I like what Jacob said in the past. It's kind of like dating. Right? It really is. You talk to people on their own level. It's how you get to know people.
Here's a funny story too. And the longer that you're in the office, the more that you'll recognize like who works.
What clients work with what agents without even knowing, just by them calling in. Talked to one of your ladies today, and I helped her out like a year and a half ago. I had to follow up with something, and she was talking about Frank. Frank got her the equitable plan and everything like that. But I knew this was a Frank Bryant lady because she would go on a 10-minute tangent and then circle back to, okay, what were we talking about? And I go, and after she did the second time, and I've talked to her for 2 years now, but I was like, now I know why you and Frank did so well together. Now I know why Frank made such a lasting impression, because you both go on 10, 15-minute tangents, forget about what the heck you're even talking about, and then circle back to, oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I am paying $260. Yeah. Okay. So back to this here. Let's do it. And I was like, you're perfect for each other.
Yeah, you think that's an accident?
No, it's they're you take on, really when you make these relationships, especially from the beginning, you need to be a chameleon and kind of match their energy, their efficiency as well too. But I know you can moan and groan all you want.
I hate the concept of mirroring, because you need to bring them to a level that you're comfortable with.
Not mirroring, but I'm talking about the vernacular that you choose.
Oh yeah.
Like like take Alice, our guy that we were talking to that was on Medicaid. If we would have went into deductibles and stuff, first off, it doesn't apply to him anyway because he's on Medicaid. So there's nothing to do there. But he would have no idea. And there's a reason that I was doing what I was doing to where I'm saying, okay, repeating what the notes that you took back to him to show that you did take excellent notes, that you're very diligent, but then as well, periodically just asking him to go do things for me.
Mhm.
Like there's a reason for it. We'll get into it in a later video because it's more of an agent thing, but there's a reason why I asked him, okay, well, do you have that card? Okay. Your member ID number? I don't need that. What does that card say? Okay. I need you to go grab this. I need you to go do this for me. Okay, do this for me so I can get answers here. That follows down to the whole sales process. But if we would have went into language like that, like deductibles, copay, coinsurance, he has no idea.
And none of them, and by the way, even the ones that do, right, even the ones that come prepped, even people that have been dealing like in HR departments that have been buying insurance for their companies, they don't think in that language. We do because we live in it. They don't live in it. They don't think that way. So don't use that language when you're talking to them, especially when you're going through and you're explaining Medicare A and B and going through the A and B. That's when to use it. But in this entire discovery phase, don't use it. That's not the point. You can ask someone, so when you go see a doctor, do you want to pay anything out of pocket? They'll go, no. But if you go, so when you go see a doctor, do you want a copay? Well, what's a copay? They'll go, no, but they don't know what that is. And or if they do know what it is, it hasn't clicked in their head yet.
That's why, Alice, I just asked him, when you had that surgery, did you pay for anything? I didn't say, what was your copay like? What was your co-insurance on it? Did you have a deductible that you hit for that surgery? I just go, no. Did you have to pay anything?
Right.
And then he goes, no, absolutely not. Boom.
Right. And this is where you'll see a lot of people fail. They'll start getting into, and they'll start learning, our presentation and stuff. They'll start going through, oh, the A and B is the important. The A and B is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. When you start taking that language that's there and putting it up in front, nope. That is now way beyond what you should be doing, because then I understand the urge to do it. You want to bring value by showing people, well, I know what I'm talking about. Let me use words. That's not the way it works. It's just not. Human interaction comes from real, true human interaction. Trust comes from familiarity. That means I can't talk over you. I'm not here to kiss your ass. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to bow down before you, and I'm not here to lord over you or talk down to you. We will be here. That means I'm going to talk to you like a regular human being. That's it. And then later on, when I get to the formalities, then I will explain, hey, you know how you said you want to do this? Well, that's called this, and that does this. But that time, we've been talking about fishing. We've been talking about football. We've been talking about barbecue. Usually for me, it's barbecue.
Fishing.
Huh?
Fishing.
Don't tell me you haven't sat there and looked up actually the food stops that are in those local areas.
Oh, that's a little tip of the trade there.
Right.
That's what I do, especially with some of those people in Louisiana. It's always how I end the conversation with them in Louisiana. I would say, okay, before I let you go, give me one restaurant. And It's not a chain restaurant. And then that leads to another 25-minute conversation.
And by the way, don't come up with things that are catchy just because we do it. Find something that you're genuinely interested in. Like you can look at me and Jacob, we're interested in food.
Food, fishing, guns.
I do love my guns.
Guns, freedom.
Born and raised in Lockhart, so we're the barbecue capital.
Right.
What's your favorite barbecue?
Now, that's how we divide. We divide. If I find out you're with a competitor, I can't talk to you no more.
Well, there's different stuff. If you're in Georgia, you're doing pork, right?
Christ.
So,
Smitty's, Smitty's, that was my ag teacher. The lady that owns it, her husband was my ag teacher. Just passed.
and by the way, everybody, you see what just happened right now.
Mm-hmm.
So find something that you're interested in, that you know other people, and find the things that
Absolutely.
don't be a unique individual when you think about these things. Find things that you know you like and you're interested in that everyone else is also interested in, or the majority of people. Find a few things. It's also good for you personally and for your mental health to have a varied perspective on stuff. I just don't like just guns. I like explosives too. No, actually, no. No, I actually like, I like history, right?
And here's a tip for you guys
Too. When you find that common ground, put it in the notes for crying out
Oh,
loud, so
Lord.
you can reference back to it.
Absolutely.
Put it in the notes. Whatever you talk about, whatever subject, whatever
Everything
it
in the
is.
notes.
And if you have someone that's interested in something, like, because that's a good opener up. That's how they start communicating with you in their own real language when they've already associated with you in something else, right? And then clients out there, if someone's actually trying to make the effort to take interest and they are sharing it, if you're with a good agent, they're not going to lie to you about it. They're going to, oh, wait, I know a little bit about this and I want to talk to you about that. Whether out there, yeah, no. But if, like, you call me and say, I like cats, I'll be like, I don't agree with you. Let's talk about dogs. Right? But that's okay, right? So just bear in mind that, guys. They're not going to buy the product. They're not going to buy what a deductible is or a feature. They're going to buy you, and that means you need to talk to them in normal. And try to get that first. Just try to get that. Speak to them normally. They're just normal people, right? Don't take all this language that you're learning and start shoving it in their face right away. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to make you seem more professional or efficient. But I'll leave on this. There's going to be one little tip I will give you. People buy from professionals. And professionals do not act like they know what they're doing or speak down to people. Professionals make it look easy because for them it is easy. So people don't buy from the guy that's using, well, in this case, this. No, they buy from the guy that goes, oh, you want to do this? Well, that's just it. Go to a doctor, and that doctor goes, oh, well, you're going to have open heart surgery. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go and put a catheter, and we're going to go with there, and this is a myocardial valve. And you're going to go, oh, that's terrifying. Old country doctor comes in, don't worry about this. We're going to crack you open, tinker with your ticker, have you up in 3 days, man. Done 1,000 of these. And you're going to go, I want that guy.
Yeah.
I can feel that confidence, right? So just feel on that. So anyone else got anything else? I think we're running good. Sorry, I kind of monopolized the conversation on this one, but I really wanted to, because it's important, especially because we're about to have a huge influx of people calling in, and they're not going to know what to ask until you get them to understand it's okay to ask. So anyone out there might be watching this, call in. Do not edit yourself. Tell us what you want. We'll dig for it no matter what, but make it easy on yourself. Just tell me everything. So again, this is Frank Bryant. If you have any questions or anything else, feel free to go to MedicareGurus.com. You can also get free quotes for all the various Medicare supplements and companies out there. If you want to learn more about what we do here and you're an agent and you want to partake in it, or if you want to see what programs we have for agents even outside of the Cedar Park area, please get in touch with us. You can reach us at the number at the bottom of the screen. Also, look out for some Medicare Gurus information for you. So again, this has been Frank Bryant, everyone else, and I'll talk to all of y'all later.